I'm not sure I've ever been this far up before. What happens if someone falls?
Cohort, I have exceptional news. My preparations are completed, and the time is now. Time to return to our fate-weaving adventure. This is what I like about you, Cohort. You're results-driven, focused. Oh, I'm ready to take the next step, build on the work that we did to smooth my fraying fate line. And one day, fix the Fate Weaver key! Ha! More than that, I have a revelation! Let's away to my Sanctum Sanctorum. It lies at the heart of Skywatch in Auradon. There we can strive for a new destination, improve the key, and put my research into action. My sanctum is in a ruin at the center of Skywatch. Can't miss it. Don't mind the sentinels posted by the entrance. A compromise between myself and Tellinger of the Mages Guild. Ah, of course. Apologies, Cohort. We rarely have a chance to catch up. Your adventures are as stimulating as they are manifold. You certainly stay busy. It is simultaneously vexing and alluring in equal measure. I'm still unsure what I did, quote-unquote, wrong in making the key. But with Martina's notes and some hands-on experimentation during our first adventure, I have had much to go on. That is a long and mildly scandalous story. The short version is that Tellinger the Artificer, glory hound of the Mages Guild, lost a wager. Badly. I'm afraid he doesn't like me very much anymore. Privacy, supplies, and, materials. You'll see when we get there. I'm quite proud of the place.
I've heard tales of your valor at Esdun. Bravely done.
Out there, whatever the cost.
Do I know you?
Ah, here we are. Home sweet sanctum. Let's talk, Cohort. Post haste. Welcome to my Sanctum Sanctorum. I've been meaning to invite you over before now, but something always seemed to come up. Mind the books now. Some of them bite. Well, I started with a simple question. How can we sew up the threads my experiment has frayed? That led me to a metaphor. What if we could create a sort of mystic spool we could attach to the key? Something to help in reweaving my fate line? Spool is a terrible word. Let's not call it that. Perhaps a bobbin? Azandar's arcane bobbin? Ugh. We'll keep working on it. Peerless observation, though. Yes, we create a simple arcanal mystical focus we can use to anchor the threads of fate. Within loyal gubbins, my most recent atronach lies the nascent form of the bobbin. Just need to get it out of there. I've prepped an arcane stencil for you. Retrieve it from the rubbish bin and imbue it with magicka from the font, please. I appreciate you taking on the legwork, cohort. Fashioning the stencil took some considerable effort. Think of this as an opportunity to walk in the well-heeled slippers of Azandar Alcibiades. Well, what name would you have given it? I briefly considered calling it Piffle, but Martina used to call magical instruments gubbins, and I was feeling sentimental. Oh, it acts as reliable help down here. The way things are with the Mages Guild, I try to keep entry and exit to a minimum. Besides, I don't want someone messing up my papers, or having them quit on short notice just because something exploded. Yes, well, I thought I could steward a new arcanist, and it did not go well. They failed to have either the zeal or intellectual curiosity you do, cohort. Spiffing! Just needs a little magicka to get going. Hold the stencil over the font just there, eh? Fearless! Now, point it at gubbins and gesticulate vigorously. And down goes gubbins. Rummage around in the goop, would you? Ha! One arcane bobbin. Damn. Well, nothing for it. The name's stuck. Let's just get on with this. We've pierced the esoteric veil of reality and forged a tool of our own self-liberation. Who's an amateurish rune scratcher now, Tellinger? Ha! Exceptional! Now, to simply attach it to the Fate Weaver key. And there we are! Dear Martina's methods distilled down and improved by yours truly. Let's find a new round of Frayed Fates and put theory into practice. Just so. With the improved key as a focus, this scrying ritual should be even more effective. It was a stroke of luck I recognized Fathom's drift last time around. Let's away to my inner sanctum and scry. Onward and upward. Good. Now let's find where we're headed. With the bobbin, this should be as easy as a Mage's Guild theorem. Just as before, cohort. Activate the beacons. somewhere in the Alakir Desert, it seems. Oh, I see. Cozen set. Scrying has provided us direction, focus. Even if I am unexcited about the prospect of returning to the Alakir Desert. I suppose I should have seen this coming at some point. The scrying ritual highlighted the village of Kozenset in the hinterlands of the Alakir Desert. This is somewhat embarrassing. That tiny hamlet is my hometown, where the impressive arcanist before you got his humble start. Well, I introduce myself as Azandar Alcibiades, which to another son or daughter of Ruptga means I hail from an island off the coast. It's all a bit of a braggadocio, though. Part of the mystique. Worried? Ha! Hardly. The only things to worry about in Kozenset are getting stung by a scorpion or your lips drying out. Let's make haste, cohort. These fates won't unfray themselves, you know. I'd honestly hoped never to have to return to Kozenset, cohort. Hoped with the incandescent fire of Magnus himself. Ha! A fair question. When I first left home, I was desperate to shake the metaphorical sand from my boots. When someone asked my name in a Sentinel marketplace, I couldn't bear to tell the truth. It's who I am. The book-loving introvert from Kozenset, the young man drawing runes in the sand and dreaming of a wider world. Well, I won't be so dramatic to say he's dead, but he and I have very little in common. Quality material makes for quality goods. Here we are.
This bird'll do nicely.
Kozenset. Let's get searching, eh, cohort? Smell that? This place reeks of camel spit and unrealized potential. Yes and no. My brother and his family still live nearby, but I haven't spoken to them since I left. I was determined to have conversations about anything other than what to feed the camels. It's always some kind of grass, by the by. Let's focus, cohort. Perhaps later we'll have a dram of Gormapple schnapps together and toast the old homestead. For now, we need to find those frayed fates and sew them back into the fabric of reality.
Can't hide.
There.
Can't hide.
A thread.
They see everything, don't they?
So hungry.
I say, you there. Spare a coin for a down-on-his-luck researcher?
There but for the power of Apocrypha go I. With many of my projects, success and disaster were decided by a handful of coins. Sobering. Another one. I suppose it makes sense there are a few around the place where I was born. You there! Are you on a walkabout as well?
rather
Call
busy
Papa
right
Protect
now.
and keep you on your long journey. Let's talk a moment. Much to discuss from the fates we've seen. Commendable work. But something's not quite right. Let me see the Fate Weaver key a moment. Yes, yes! I'm even more brilliant than I imagined. The bobbin is rattling against the key, straining at its runic bonds. It now acts as a passive frayed fate detector. Incredible! Phenomenal! Superb supposition. The key is indicating, north and east out of town. Perhaps the old ruins. Here, take the key. Let's move. Another thread. I knew it. My Fate Weaver key is amazing. Yes, this feels right. I went off exploring on my own every chance I could. You understand. The entrance to the old ruins are just up this way. I remember it like it was yesterday. Follow me, everyone. You are mine! What in oblivion? It's the fate we saw back at Fathom's Drift. I am not ready to face you. Not yet. After him, cohort! Into the Lost City! These ruins are not extensive. Stay alert for more threads of fate. And tranquility. grow ever stronger. Your fates feed me. Soon, I shall surpass even you. That thing wishes to replace me then? Most disconcerting. We should discuss this outside. Just when I thought we had this experiment under control, an evil reflection threatens to consume my fate and replace me. It's me! Or, well, a frayed version of myself. A version so malevolent and willful that it's thrown everything I thought I knew about this magic into the abyssal seas. An astute observation. The Fate Weaver key was created simply to observe the might-have-beens. This absolutely, categorically should not be happening. If not for you, it might have already killed me. A distressing notion, I must admit. Research. Surely something back at the sanctum, or perhaps a tome we find in our travels. Either way, I have yet to find a question to which sufficient research does not hold the answer. Besides, I need to stitch gubbins back together. A superlative idea. And look at what we've already accomplished. The Fate Weaver key improved, frayed fate sewn back into my line, and the adversary confronted once again. Here, cohort, your due. With my humble thanks. Spend it judiciously. Cohort, I need to be transparent with you. Not literally, of course. All that line of inquiry led to was some traumatized street children in Sentinel. I can't stop thinking about my adversary, the frayed fate that wants to replace me. My adversary has somehow transcended the limitations of the other frayed fates. It has an awareness of its own existence, agency, and a malign intellect. Perhaps I should have paid more attention to the warning from that Daedra Tim. I want to ignore it and hope it goes away. But what works for toothaches may not hold true for extratemporal phenomena. Let's continue our work on the Fate Weaver key. To the Skywatch Sanctum! We can scry for frayed fates and gather supplies. In your own time, cohort. The Skywatch Sanctum will be well protected by gubbins in the meantime. Hopefully he still recalls the proper steeping interval for a cup of Orcrest Rooibos. Ha! That's the mark of a valuable partnership. When researchers are so closely aligned in thought, they're able to finish each other's, precisely. We have worked together long enough now that I feel quite sustained by our companionship. I do my best work at your side these days. Exemplary work, if I do say so myself. Our partnership is the fulcrum we will use to topple this mystery. The adversary is me after a fashion, right? But he does not have access to our intellectual rapport, nor our experience at surviving fierce battles. And so, we shall prevail. Let's avoid the Mage's Guild Tower here. Back at it again. I was quite pleased with our last outing. Threats to my very existence aside. The arcane bobbin, wish we'd come up with a better name. Was a smashing success. My sagacity astonishes me sometimes. Precisely. Each time, our expertise with this particular bit of metamagic improves. The connection between the Fate Weaver key and choices along my fate line grows stronger. My hope is to find multiple fate sites this go-around. Gubbins has prepared the inner sanctum for us. Let's head inside. This time. Did you see that? Stonefalls, Mullabal Tor, and the Dwemer Ruin? Fascinating! Another set of frayed fates. Here's hoping they're a bit more luminous than those in Cozen's set. I believe we should start with Stonefalls. Well, as we learned in Cozen's set, frayed fates are most likely to appear at locales where I spent a considerable amount of time. That said, I'm not quite sure what I did in Stonefalls. Oh, Mora's many eyes. Damn it! Nothing wrong, per se. But I just remembered what I did in Stonefalls that might have resulted in weighty choices made. I was just starting out as a field researcher, still coming into my power as an arcanist. My inquiries were misguided. I chucked half a firkin of moon sugar and stayed awake for 4 days reading the sermons of Vivek. At the time, I hoped to gain some new insights into ancient magics. In any case, we know where to go. Onward and upward, To Ebonheart! I recall disliking my time in Stonefalls, but I'm having difficulty remembering why. I suppose that's moon sugar for you. Let's head to Ebonheart. I know I began my time in the region there, so it's at least a place to start. Indeed. Malabal Tour most likely will see us going to the Ayleid ruins of Elias. I've spent a stultifying season there studying the wells that typify such locales. I'm less sure about the Dwemer ruin. I've studied dozens of their constructs. Well, anywhere as defined by the ancestral homeland of the Deep Elves, the region called Morrowind, or anywhere along the north-northwest arm of their post-First Council diaspora. Ah, but you were speaking colloquially. Apologies. I've got vague memories swimming in my mind, cohort. Let's head to the Metalworks by the South Gate. Aha! Fate threading. Just as we saw in Cozen's set. Use the Fate Weaver key and we'll follow where it leads.
Ah, you've arrived. There's much to do.
On the bridge. Another thread. The further west we travel, the more I begin to get nervous. But why? Ignore the soldiers. If they ask, we're just mages looking for, reagents. Yeah, that's why my skin is crawling. Dreg. I hate these things. Look! Is that one of my frayed fates on the ground? disturbing. Ominous. This frayed fate has been hollowed out like a witch's festival pumpkin. The adversary did this. Must have been his goal at the lost city of Natotambu. Also, can you hear the sound of the dread chitin rubbing against itself? I'm fairly sure I can. Full disclosure, cohort. No, I'm trying hard to maintain my sunny disposition and halcyon personality. I swear I can feel dread patapalps upon my skin. And my adversary, what is his plan? It's vexing. Is it a show of strength? No, he's me. This has some purpose. He's gathering power, but to what end? My initial enthusiasm for experimental results seems increasingly inappropriate. Let's away to Malabal Tor, the alien ruins of Elias. I spent some time there years ago. Boring though it was, it's likely the location of my frayed fate. Hopefully we'll find some clue to the adversary's plan. There. A thread. And are those sea elves? Damn pirates. Another thread. There. At the apex of the ruins. There. Another fate. Drained and lingering. Use the Fate Weaver key, if you please. The adversary was just here. We can track him. I'm constructing a rune of seeking. Rutinary exploratum. He is clever, but I am cleverer. This portal should lead us directly to him. Netchulif Tink! Of course! The third image from our scrying was Netchulif Tink! We stand before the entrance to the Dwemer construct known as Netchulif Tink. The adversary must be inside. It's imperative we discover his purpose here, cohort. It's entirely possible some dangerous artifacts are still kicking around in there. Most don't know how to use them, but I do. Which in all likelihood probably means... If he's here to expand on my Fate Weaver research, I imagine we'll find him in the Emetric Interval Chamber. It's at the heart of the ruins. Be ready for a scrap. I took pains to keep a low profile, but together we'll likely attract attention. Let's head inside. We must reach the adversary before they do anything catastrophic or cataclysmic. Also, dibs on any soul gems we find inside. This construct is where my path to the Fate Weaver key finally came into focus. The ancient lore of the Dwemer commingled with my incandescent research. Oh no, not directly. But Dwemeric tonal architecture was the final inspiration I needed to crack the problem. It led directly to my understanding of fate weaving, and thus to our current situation. At one point, I seriously considered investigating the mystery of the Dwemer. I decided against it after meeting other researchers in the field. What a ponderous lot. I'd forgotten how vast this complex can feel. Designed to intimidate, certainly, but also a practicality. Can you imagine the scale of the mechanisms behind those walls? Watch those traps, cohort. Even if they are fairly unsophisticated. The chamber's not too far now. Hopefully, we can discover the adversary's goal before he achieves it.
Any more? I need some peace.
He's here. We got him.
Welcome, counterpart. It's here that we discovered the true potential of the Fate Lines, and I've returned to claim the device I needed.
I'll be fine. Use the key. Cut him off from the Fate.
We both saw the power, the potential, the chance to claim the strength of your lessers. You rebuke our very nature. I am the part of you that knows the true way to power. And we shall meet again.
Damn it. Let's get out of here and talk. Inquiry asked and answered, I suppose. The adversary came here for a Dwemeric device to modify his Fate Weaver key. I'm at a loss. To think this is where my experiment might have led. To erase me, replace me, and inflict the power of his dark Fate Weaver upon our world. Cohort, knowledge was the gift that allowed me to strike out on my own, to travel Nirn and beyond. To see it twisted like this is sickening. Because he's me. He's the Azandar I see in the mirror on my worst days. The arse I struggle with in the darkest parts of the night when research, travel, and tea can't distract me. To end him. But that's easier said than done. With the strength he's gained now, who knows what my adversary is capable of? I will throw myself into this research with the full force of my faculties, Cohort. You have my word. I expected nothing less. And consider our accomplishments. We've confirmed the adversary's goal, denied him the interval chamber, and finally, I see the seriousness of my actions. For now, accept this stipend with my vehement thanks. Yes?
Haven is free of pirates. Looks like General